Hi, and welcome to part 2 of how to develop your own plugin for TwitControl 1.56. In this tutorial, I'll be using TwitControl 1.56 revision 2. However, this tutorial should apply to any version later than that. So today we're actually going to be making our plugin that we made in part 2, the one that displays a message box when we start up TwitControl. We're going to turn that into an actual command. So if we open up our plugin folder, we have the startup file that we made yesterday. And what we want to do is actually, if we go into the command list, we'll see the list of commands, and we actually want to make a command here. Let's say we want the command to, I don't know. Let's say display a message box again that says "Hey Brandon." Now you could use the message box command to do that, but this is only for testing or tutorial purposes. So the first thing we want to do is actually create a new file. Since this is the file that runs when TwitControl starts up, we're going to need to make a new text document that adds a new command. So this one's going to be called command.tcp. And we're just going to go ahead and right click it and press edit with Notepad++. And then we're going to make sure that the language is set to VB once again. And the first thing we're going to do, just like in the startup, is declare some author information. So this command plugin, which is called Hey Brandon, was made by Brandon. And now we need to tell TwitControl to actually read this plugin as a command. So first of all, we're going to tell it this file to not start up. So dim on start as boolean equal to false. And then we also need to tell it that it is a command. Dim command as boolean equal to true. And now we need to declare what the actual command is going to be. So if we go back to TwitControl and click command list, I think it's already open actually. Yes, command list, you have this list of commands that you can actually type. Now what we need to do is actually make our command have a keyword, if you will. So you can do this by creating a new variable, dimming command text as string. And this is going to be what the command actually is. So we're going to make this command, Hey Brandon. And when you make a command text, you cannot have any spaces in it. If you have any spaces, it will just, TwitControl will automatically delete the spaces. So spaces don't even count. And keep in mind, none of this is case sensitive, so it doesn't matter there. But you just cannot have spaces. So now that we've declared all the information that TwitControl needs, we can actually get into executing the command when it is called. So when we update our Twitter status with Hey Brandon, it's going to execute the following code. So we're going to say just message box dot show, and then this is going to say Hey Brandon command module. And so now we have our actual command section of our plugin set up. Now the only problem with this is if the plugin is installed, the user won't know about the command because it is not listed on the command list. Well, we can easily fix this by actually adding our command to the command list. We can do this by closing out of our command file, since we're done with that, and actually opening back up our startup file. So if we right click and edit with Notepad++, we can actually create an entry which will add our command to the existing command list. So down here in the execute section, we're actually going to say lbl underscore, standing for label, command list dot text equals. So this is just setting the text of this list of commands. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? This list of commands here. That is, this giant list is lbl underscore command list. And then we need to make a new line, so we're going to do it equals the already existing text and a new line and the text that we're going to make. So we're going to say Hey Brandon is the command, and it displays a quick message box. So now we have set the command list to actually show the user our command. So now they know that this is an actual valid command. And then once this command is called, it should switch them over right to the command file where it will display this message box. So let's go ahead and test it out. So we're going to close out of all this, and then we're actually going to open up TwitControl and go to the plugin manager. As you can see, I uninstalled our plugin from the previous tutorial, but we can just reinstall it now. If you're updating a plugin, the best way to do it is to uninstall it and then reinstall it. So that's what I'm doing now. So our folder is Hey Brandon on the desktop, and then we're just going to press OK, and then install. And it looks like it was a successful installation. So we're just going to exit out of TwitControl and reopen it. So once we start up TwitControl, you'll notice that we get the Hey Brandon dialog from our first part of the tutorial. This is actually from the startup file inside of our Hey Brandon folder. And then if we actually go to the command list, you'll notice that our command is listed just as we said, Hey Brandon. It displays a quick message box. So now we know that the command is Hey Brandon, so we can actually go ahead and execute that. So I'm just going to log into TwitControl with my credentials, and I'm just going to give it my email. And set email mode, and then I'm going to start tracking. So now that we've started tracking my Twitter feeds, we can actually just go ahead and click this little arrow to quickly update our Twitter status. So I'm going to change mine to Hey Brandon, and it should display a message box once it syncs with the server and I go and reads our latest Twitter update. Okay, I know you guys didn't see anything, but I actually paused the video and did a little editing or some testing out and everything, because when we tried to load the plugin into TwitControl, as you saw, and the command was recognized, it didn't work, if you know what I mean. And well, here's why. When you create a new text document, let's just name this one execute.tcp, and then you edit it with Notepad++, and then type in 1, enter 2, enter 3, enter 4, and let's put a dash after these. It appears that they are on new lines. However, if you copy this over to, let's say, a new Notepad document and paste it, they are not on new lines. Hopefully you can see this. And the way TwitControl reads its plugins is it actually splits it by line and reads it by line. And since Notepad++ didn't actually create new lines, it couldn't split it and it couldn't figure out what the command text was. So what I went ahead and did is turned our previous command.tcp into a Notepad file and tried to rewrite it as best as possible. So this command was made by Brandon for testing purposes. So then we tell TwitControl that it is a command, and we do not want it to run on startup. And the command text is going to be Hey Brandon, as before. And I think it was this before, actually. And then when the command is received, we're going to show a text box that says Hey Brandon with a little emoticon here. So now it probably has its actual line splits here. So we're going to go ahead and delete the old plugin in TwitControl and load this one in. So we're going to go to the plugin manager and delete the old Hey Brandon and find the new one and install. It's a success, so we just need to restart TwitControl. And once again we get that little startup message box. And since we didn't edit the startup file at all, our command should be listed in the command list, which it is. And now, if we actually start our Twitter reading here, and then update our Twitter status to Hey Brandon, I'm just going to do it all in lowercase. Oh, in my testing, I tried out a bunch of these. I'm just going to do it all in capitals then. Hey Brandon. And then, once it reads it, it should execute the command properly. And as you can see here, it did execute the command. It displayed the message box that we coded, and that's all good. So thanks for watching this tutorial on how to create your very own TwitControl command. You can actually make these pretty intuitive as long as you know, as long as you have good background within the VB.NET language. And also this tutorial taught us don't use Notepad++ if you're trying to do a command file. That might have just been my computer, I don't know. You can try whatever you'd like. So go ahead, make your own commands. The next tutorial will be about how to make an about dialog, as you saw with the sample dump file. And then the tutorial following that is going to be how to share your plugins with other users around the world. So thanks for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, please remember to rate, comment, subscribe, and have a great day.